6 points. Meanwhile, for Manchester United, that victory lifts them above West Ham and Spurs up to 12th in the table. Julien Laurent joins us. We're from Jules in a moment, but Stevie, you were watching this game. How would you describe it overall?
There's absolutely no way Southampton deserved to not get at least a draw out of this game. They were by far the better side. United had a good 10-minute spell at the beginning, as you would expect, but after that they got outplayed by a team who haven't won away from home all season. And at half-time, if you're United, you're scratching your head. The second half, generally, United put a little bit of pressure on, but never really opened them up. And then, of course, a couple of late goals, add on top of the third one, makes the scoreline look as though this was comfortable. It was anything but comfortable. And the only thing we learned about this game today was that every single thing we thought about United before those last two results against Liverpool and Arsenal, that's exactly who they are. Those two results are just fortunate, because today they were really fortunate to get 3 points.
Diallo saved their bacon.
Is it that easy to say?
Yes.
Like without him, we're having a completely different
Pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. This is a Southampton side that they've one win this season, 3 draws, I believe that's right. 6 points. 6 points. This was going to be, but for Diallo, the lowest point of a low season and a low time in this club's history. This was probably going to be the lowest. Primarily because Southampton have been so bad. So bad. I mean, they might not get, if they get to double figures in points, the way the mistakes they make, they're going to be lucky. And they, as Stevie said, outplayed United for long periods. Their manager said it in the interview after the game, for 75 minutes, Man United made them look like they were a sort of mid-table side. And then all these mistakes came back, and that's one of the reasons they're down. And if you watch Southampton, they make mistake after mistake. They try and play out from the back. They get caught, thinking back to the Chelsea game down in the South Coast. Just mistake after mistake, and that's what sends you down to the Championship. But again, as somebody mentioned a game the other day, I can't remember who it was, if you swap the shirts on these teams, you wouldn't think that's Man United and that was Southampton. And I kind of think, and Ruben Amorim said yesterday, or the day before, was his press conference, he said, I'm going to learn more about my side today than I learned in the Arsenal and Liverpool games. And he was right. He was right. When their backs are to the wall, they can somewhat put up a fortress of a decent shape. When they're at home playing a much weaker side, and they are asked and sort of forced by the home crowd to try and come out and play, they are utterly horrendous. And Diallo saved one of the most embarrassing results that they've had for many a year.
But it shouldn't have been like that, should it, Jules? They're riding this wave of optimism. Obviously, Arsenal, Liverpool going into this game, Southampton bottom of the table. If you were to set up the perfect picture for Manchester United to kick on, surely this should have been it.
I guess so, although we've said all along, it's easier to put together a very good, strong, well-drilled defensive structure. You go 5-4-1 like they did against Liverpool and Arsenal, and then you wait, and then you counter when you can. And that's exactly what they did in those two games, and it can work, especially away from home, especially against teams that are better than you. But like I think Stevie said earlier, when you have the ball then, and Craig too, to be fair, you have the ball and you have to attack, and you really have no idea. And let's be honest, they scored 3 goals. The 3 goals that Ahmad scored are all down to him, and that 1-2 with Eriksen, I guess we can give them that. But apart from collectively, there was just nothing. There was really some patterns of play that we can recognize and we see what they're working on. There was really like a collective move where you could see the runnings and you could see the triangles, or you could see there was just none of that. I agree with the boys. I thought it was embarrassing for most of it. And really, I know those 2 results against Arsenal and Liverpool were good results for them. But really, they're 12th in the table and they play like a team that are 12th in the table. That was the 10th goal they conceded on corners this season, the most in the Premier League. 10, I think 8 of those 10s have come since Amorim took over. He had his assistant Carlos Fernandez, who's supposed to be the set piece guy, standing up, like they all do now before set piece is taken. And he looked clueless, and his players were clueless too. And it was an embarrassing goal to concede again. And I just think that Ruben Amorim is smart enough to know that this was bad, and that really there's nothing really